and really look at passing on the outdoor heritage side of it. And when First Phorm Outdoors came together and tying this together, it's live a lifestyle allows you to experience more of the outdoors. Really, let me correct myself. Live a healthy, fit, active lifestyle that allows you to experience more of the outdoors. And the reason I say that is you can't experience more of it if you're dead. And I firmly, wholeheartedly believe that literally one, if not both, of my grandfathers would still be here today if there would have been better actions taken suit, right? A little bit less whiskey, maybe some more water.
What's going on? Hope you're having a great Saturday. And in today's episode, we've got the longer edition to cap off the 2 weeks of First Phorm Outdoors. Why First Phorm Outdoors? For so many individuals. Everything from bass fishermen to people that just enjoy the outdoors, from the West Coast to the East Coast, whitetail hunters, elk hunters, archers, people that enjoy firearms. Guys, I'm telling you, there's so many avenues to join First Phorm Outdoors. I want you in the community. We want to see you over there. Everyone that has been on the last 2 weeks wants to see you there. So today we're going to cap off with Jake Arvold, who started First Phorm Outdoors out there at headquarters of First Phorm in St. Louis, Missouri. Guys, I'm telling you, this is a community you want to be a part of. And we want to see you over there. We want you to get better. We want you to experience more of the outdoors. And we want you to get lasting results in whatever your health and fitness journey is. Some people, they want to get chiseled like Dale Beatty. Other people want to enjoy waterfowl hunting when it comes around like Nolan. And other people want to enjoy CrossFit like a vast majority of our First Phorm Outdoors people do. So through all of that, just know that wherever you are in your fitness journey, we are here for you. We want you to be a part of the community so you can learn, grow, and achieve your goals the way that you want to and carve out your life the way that you want it to be. So without further ado, let's get into this conversation with Jake Arvold and First Phorm Outdoors. Welcome back, everyone, to the RedBeard Outdoors podcast. We've got my good friend, pretty much brother at this point, Jake Arvold, especially after stealing what soul I had left on the mountain in Colorado. You know, us gingers, we don't have many souls, so they had to steal some other things from me up there. But
It's a transfer.
With that being said, Jake is he's the face of First Phorm Outdoors. He had this amazing idea a few years back, to just come out and just say, hey, the group of First Phorm, what it has with the community, all the benefits of the quality of the products, everything should be also applied to outdoorsmen so that you can continue to share this journey with your posterity. So we want to get into that conversation a little bit. Jake's been on the podcast before, and I think I was on your podcast when we couldn't even get through like 10 minutes without laughing. But I wanted to bring Jake on here to cap off this week that we've had of all of the people that are from the West Coast to the East Coast and everywhere in between, the Midwest hunter, the whitetail hunter, the mule deer hunter, the elk hunter, etc., the bass fishermen, everyone in the outdoor space that we've got kind of leading this charge. This is to cap it off. And I wanted Jake to just explain to everyone from his perspective why First Phorm Outdoors, we're going to get to that, and even why he wanted to make such a big push for this when there's plenty of other companies out there that can provide you the supplements. So we're going to talk to you about why this is something that you want for your life as we're getting into 2024. And this is the first week of 2024. So you're well on your way to getting to the gym, hitting your goals. And we want First Phorm Outdoors to be a part of that. But Jake, for people that don't know who you are, who are you?
What's up, everyone? Jake Arvold, former Wisconsinite. Live down here in St. Louis, Missouri now. I'm a dyslexic homeschooler, and I grew up on a farm. That's pretty much, I mean, if you had to go through and wrap it all together, that's where everything started, where it began. I've been down here in St. Louis, Missouri now for about 5 years in September. Former CrossFit gym owner, former fat farm kid, former elk guide. Done a lot of different things, and blessed for the family and the life that I had ultimately been brought up in. And, you know, as we as we get older and go throughout life, ultimately, I don't say that it's necessarily that I took a lot of those things for granted, because I definitely remember enjoying all of them and learning a lot of great lessons along the way. But definitely I can say took for granted some of the experiences I had with other individuals, and the aspect of like, hey, not everyone gets to do all of these things. And I was very cognizant of that piece, because that's honestly in the early stages of guiding elk hunting and going out elk hunting. Like my first trip was when I was 8 years old with my dad, and that was a whole learning experience. He made me earn it. It wasn't something like, oh, Jake just got to go out. Like, he made me go do an entire, at 8 years old, pack the mule up, travel out to the other side of the property, to earn the ability to go out and go on a hunt with him and the rest of the guys. And it's the work ethic along the way that's ultimately been built from the ground up. And when I think of First Phorm Outdoors, there's a lot of things in my personal life that have tied all that stuff together. So rock and roll. Is that what you wanted? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
Is that good?
Yeah. It's
rock and roll.
It's a smack in the face, but no.
Right there. Yeah. Rock and roll. Smack in the face.
Oh man, what you cracking open that's not an ad?
It's definitely not an ad.
Wait, hold on. The best flavor, the best flavor out there, right? And you can't deny it, because
hey man,
I mean, they just proved it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Just rub it in. Moving on. I'm just going to enjoy what I got over here.
But your can looks a little different than mine.
It does.
I mean,
got the new First Phorm Outdoors exclusive camo on that. Still tastes just as freaking good. That's for sure. So we actually have some changes and everything with the cans. We got some cool stuff coming up and all that. So I don't know. I was like, God, do I need another one today? Yep, sure do.
That's never a question.
No, not in any way, shape, or form. But
no, that's
it's just
awesome.
another reason I had to make sure that you had another excuse to go through and grab some more.
Oh yeah. Well, I've been waiting. I'm running low on my supply, and I'm not cool enough to be in Missouri area where I can get them from the gas station.
Hey, well, by the time this episode comes out, these will all be here. Like, we'll have all those going, and then hopefully as time goes on, we got bigger and better things that will ultimately come up in the 1P outdoors side of it. Ultimately for everyone who is out there, especially going into the new year here. Even when it comes into the First Phorm app, got Kaylee working on some other things in there, just making sure everyone has a game plan going into the new year for diet, nutrition, exercise, all that kind of stuff. So
exactly.
Rock and roll.
That's awesome. So there's a lot of things that go into, the First Phorm Outdoors, but I want to hit on first and foremost the slogan, experience more. When you say experience more, what do you mean by that? And why was that the slogan that was chosen?
Yeah, no, really good question. To explain experience more really is going to take me down. I mean, telling you guys a little bit of a story piece to this. When I look at, and it's going to kind of tie together the entire First Phorm Outdoors piece and really give you kind of at least one piece of that. Because it's not just that's a cool name, right? Or, impact, like insert this, like I want it to have a meaning behind it. And when I think about it, I think about my grandparents, I think about friends, I think about family. But in particular, we'll use my grandfathers as a part of this, right? And I've had this conversation numerous times since the beginning of creating First Phorm Outdoors, and even when I had started. You think about the outdoor heritage, you think about the people you surround yourself with, right? Like I grew up in a family where I was fortunate to have a grandfather, one who taught me fly fishing, another one who taught, and I mean, not just fly fishing, but we'd go on the St. Croix River. We'd go fly fishing out on the river. We'd go fly fishing out on the lake. We'd do bobber fishing, like all this stuff. Like some of my greatest memories are spent on the river. Honestly, I was fishing long before I even got really fully into the hunting side of things. Then you got another grandfather who gave me my first buck knife and all these different experiences behind the scenes, and a dad and a mom, and ultimately individuals who allowed me to go do these different things, even if they weren't right there doing it. But for my grandfathers in particular, like I would always hear it over and over and over again, especially Grandpa Jordan on my dad's side. He's like, we'd go up to the deer camp. He's like, we have to pass on the outdoor heritage. Like, oh, if I saw a piece of trash or he saw a piece of trash, he's like, you pick that up. It's like, we got to leave it better. And we found it. And he's teaching me this at, friggin' 6, 7, 8 years old, before I ever even could go up to the camp with the guys. And, I always talk about passing on the outdoor heritage, right? Like, we got to leave it better than we found it. We got to make sure, like, I want you to know all these things so you can pass it on to, your kids, your grandkids one day. And, as time goes on, I always, like, that was my first love. Before I got into fitness or owned a CrossFit gym, like I went out guiding in Idaho because that was like what I was going to do. Like, I didn't care about being a firefighter or a police officer. Like, I was going to be a professional outdoorsman. I was going to work on guiding different people and taking people out hunting and getting them introduced to the outdoor space, and really look at passing on the outdoor heritage side of it. And when first Phorm Outdoors came together and tying this together, it's live a lifestyle allows you to experience more of the outdoors. Really, let me correct myself. Live a healthy, fit, active lifestyle that allows you to experience more of the outdoors. The reason I say that is you can't experience more of it if you're dead. And I firmly, wholeheartedly believe that literally one, if not both, of my grandfathers would still be here today if there would have been better actions taken suit, right? A little bit less whiskey, maybe some more water. I'm not saying don't drink whiskey or anything like that. Some people don't have to. Some people can. I don't care. Like, I'll enjoy a good beer with friends and buddies. I'll enjoy a glass of whiskey with friends, buddies around the campfire, different stuff. It doesn't matter, right? But there's definitely, when it's an every night, every day occasion, like, what are you doing to set yourself up for better life moving forward? So that going on a 45-minute walk, right? It doesn't have to be anything crazy when it comes to working out, but just physically active and moving. Looking at your overall diet, you eating enough protein? Because honestly, as you age throughout time, like, your body requires more protein to even stimulate muscle protein synthesis to keep yourself, like, preserving the muscle tissue, which muscle is the organ of longevity, especially in the field that we're in, whether you're wanting to go out hunting, fishing, any of these things, right? So the big piece of experience more, right, is that underlying piece there is, like, it's not just about getting to the next ridge, right, or going to the next river bank and getting further back in there. Like, yes, you will be able to experience more if you live a healthy, fit, active lifestyle. Even in the Midwest, where I grew up friggin', slamming beers and eating cheese curds. Like, you think about the Midwest side of it, it's about, hey, we'll actually stick around. We'll be here for the future generations. I want to be the badass in a selfish sense. I want to be the badass uncle, badass dad, badass grandfather. Like, I want to be there, never stuck at a trailhead, say, hey, go on without me, right? Mm-hmm. But I also want to make sure there's never a grandfather or a future father that's just like, go on without me, because no experiences are made through that, other than ones of, oh, I wish. There's a lot of little regrets and moments that ultimately happen in there to where it's like, I wish my grandpa would have been with on this trip. Oh, I wish we could have done these things, right? So it ties in, yes, the physical sense of live a lifestyle allows you to do that, but actually stick around to pass on that outdoor heritage. So
I love it. Mm-hmm. No, that's awesome. It's definitely something that, people think of a supplement company, which, I mean, that's what First Phorm is. And before you even know about the community necessarily, and hopefully you know people in the community, but if you find something from First Phorm, some kind of ad or whatever it may be for the energy drinks, the greens, protein powder, something along that, it's a supplement brand to you at that point. The difference between those two things is we don't want people to be thinking of supplements as only something that's going to get you up those huge mountains out west, which there's a lot of companies that obviously that's a big market. It's a lot. It's something that people kind of cater to, because it does take a lot more work to go up 1,000 feet of elevation in a mile than it does to get to your tree stand. It physically, in that moment, it takes a lot more work. But what they're not considering is, the idea that you want to share this with, your posterity. And that's something that I feel like a lot of the whitetail hunters, and there's a reason I didn't get into hunting as a kid either in North Carolina. I've told this story a million times. Like, I was big into, I wouldn't say big, but
I was into fishing, whether that be on the coast or at lakes, ponds, etc. Didn't have a lot of fly fishing because there wasn't a lot of open, um, I guess, edges of the stream and stuff like that. But we did a lot of fishing, bass fishing primarily, and I loved that. But I went whitetail hunting one time with a rifle, sitting in a box blind, an elevated box blind with 3 shooting lanes. And for me, I was like it just didn't do it for me. It wasn't hunting. It was sitting and waiting for target practice for me. Now, that's not to say that anyone that hunts like that is bad. It's just not my cup of tea. It wasn't something that got me interested in going out to the whitetail woods.
Yep.
And then I come out west and it's like, you can hike that mountain and there might be deer up there. There might not be. There probably are, but you have to work to find them.
You should check.
You know? Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should go and check. Right, that one. Just to make sure, you know. Yeah, or this one. But that got me going because at least I was able to get up there and enjoy views, and I'd probably see some deer. But it wasn't always, I guess, a guaranteed thing to get an animal, but it was a guarantee that I'd have a good experience, and I would be able to push myself. So going back to the supplement side of things, and health and nutrition, even before that, I don't know personally of any other brand supplement companies that genuinely want to educate people about nutrition over just supplementation. And I want to give the benefit of the doubt and say it's because it takes more time and effort. I get that. You're not a nutritional education company. But as a supplement company, what I've loved about First Phorm personally is that it's not just one size fits all. It's you figure out what the holes are, and if you can't fill them with whole foods, then that's where supplementation comes in.
Yeah, that's I want to jump in on this really, really quick because this is an important piece. It's all results driven, right? Like as a company and an organization, it's the reason I moved myself, my family, everyone down here to St. Louis. I believe in the overall mission of First Phorm, and it's been really cool. Like anything Andy or Sal, president and CEO of the company, like anything they've ever gone through and ultimately said, like they've always just followed through on it. Like if there's Andy, Sal to a T, like they're two brothers who literally their word is good as gold. Like it's better than that because they understand that that's really the end of the day, that's all you are good for, right? It's like, if you're not good for your word or anything, then what are you good for? So I've watched these guys go through and pour in a lot of heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into, hundreds of individuals within the organization, honestly, thousands at this point in time, especially individuals outside of our organization. There's a lot of things that happen outside of these walls that, Andy and Sal aren't looking for clout on, but that they do to take care of people around them, take care around the area, take care of our country, like a lot of stuff that happens there. When we think about the mission of just First Phorm in general and just kind of the bigger scope, because First Phorm Outdoors is a sector of that, of like, how are we connecting with individuals in the outdoor space and really meeting them where they're at. But to understand that, it's like, you still have to understand, like, it's still First Phorm in the entirety of the core values and the mission of helping as many real people get real long-term lasting results as possible. You can't do that with shoving shit down people's throats. Like we're not here to go through. Yeah, like we sell supplements. We have the best of the best protein, vitamins, minerals, like all these different things to be able to help take care of someone and help them on their journey. But none of that matters, right? If we don't actually get people results and give them all the tools they need to do that, right? And that's a big thing. Like we talk about diet, nutrition, supplementation, all this stuff. Then we talk about these different products we have because we got over 100 SKUs for everyone in the family, from the kids to grandma, grandpa, everyone across the board. But one of the greatest tools that we ultimately do have that we honestly don't even really talk about as much is going to be the First Phorm app. Like the First Phorm app was created for people, right, who are struggling. Like me, when I started my fitness journey, I didn't know how to track macros. I thought it was stupid. Like I downloaded an app at the time, and then I got rid of that app after doing it for 3 days because I was so frustrated, and I didn't know who to trust. I've been sold on supplements at different supplement shops back in the day. So it's like all these things people struggle with, whether they don't know who to trust, they think they're going to just get sold something, they don't know how to track their macros, they don't know what workout plan they should go do in the gym. It's like, okay, well, that's why we created the First Phorm app, is to give that for everyone, to where we have daily lives in there every single day, registered dietitians and experts within the field to help provide value to individuals in that ecosystem. You have one of the easiest platforms to go through and track macros. And if you don't want to, there's a meal plan version in there, but it's like, give everyone options to put, like, educate them. It's the whole saying of, like, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, he'll feed his entire family for the rest of his life, right? It's like, we want to teach people how to fish. We're not here to just try and give them a fish for the day. So that's, you're 100% on point. Like, yeah, we're a supplement company, and selling vitamins and protein powders, like, keeps the lights on. That's what we do, right? When it comes down to the physical, tangible product that we sell. But the thing that separates it from anyone else out there in the marketplace, and there's other companies and great people out there who have done phenomenal things, but we're strapping up to say, hey, we're going to provide as much value as physically possible. And at the end of the day, the best team will win. We're just going to keep moving forward. And my hope in this sense of the entire outdoor space, like in all facets of it, any other companies that are out there, is that tide rises all ships. We're going to continue to push forward and do what we do best, in helping people drive results no matter what, not just focused on, we're not here to just shove shit down people's throats. With us pushing forward, I hope that it makes all of them push to get better as well, because we're not stopping. So
Definitely. Yeah, it's one of those things too, that the way I describe it to people is like, yes, obviously there's competition. Obviously there's egos as well. Like, you're not going to go into, it's not a Planet Fitness in the First Phorm Outdoors group, right? It's not one of those safe zones in that aspect. And I'm saying that because I used to work there, and so I was in charge of flipping the lunk alarm, when, of course, it never got turned on whenever I worked there. So I was like, you guys go deadlift all you want on those Smith machines.
You actually have to hit the button. You have to push a button. So there's someone in there listening.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that makes me even more frustrated. I thought it was like this sensor that got like a sound.
Oh, no.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a person.
Right.
Yep.
I'm going to go find
so
this
we'd always
person.
screw around with each other. Like, if one of our buddies was lifting or whatever, and there's like a big crowd over there at the free weights, we'd hit it just to jerk around.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. I get it now. Yep.
So now I'm sure it's a lot different. But anyway, all of that. It's not where it's that kind of safe zone. But in an aspect of, if you genuinely want to learn and you genuinely want to get better, I don't know of a better community than the First Phorm Outdoors group. There's a lot of communities out there, but you're not going to get the crabs in a bucket mentality. We will give you crap if you're asking the same question 3, 4, 5 times in a row. We'll say, see previous post or something like that. We'll get a little sarcastic with you. But the first or second time you're asking questions, genuine, actually wanted to get educated questions, that group is not going to shame you, is not going to be upset with you for asking those questions. That's something that I want people to understand as well. If you're starting your journey off and you are new to the outdoors, whether that be hiking, camping, fishing, hunting, boating, whatever, there's someone, if not multiple people in that group that will have the education to be able to help walk you through that. Because, like, for example, I'm not going to tell you, I don't know how to create a back 40 food plot area for whitetail. I just know how to hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm decent at that, if that. You know, like,
well, it's such a wide variety of people, right? Like, I think that's one of the coolest things. Like, I see people on the inside of the Facebook group. Like, it's not, I might have started the group, but it's not my group anymore. Like, it is the entire community piece. And we're working on some things to try and create like some structure so like people don't get lost in there. Cause we're over 5,000 people now in that community. Right. And like, there will be a point in time, and my mindset is like, when this group hits 1 million individuals inside of it, 1 million outdoorsmen, like that's an ultimate goal within the entire community you ultimately have, is like, when we get to that amount of people, like, how can we have some sort of a structure to make sure people aren't getting lost, right? But there's a value that's added into this group as time ultimately goes on. So always kind of thinking about that. But man, I see people getting together, doing, whether it's different hikes, people are talking about going out and going fishing, like these different things. Got other individuals who are wanting to jump in, do lives on tying flies for fly fishing. That was one I saw just yesterday. It's just a cool camaraderie of people in this ecosystem that's ultimately been generated there. And it's been really, really, really awesome to see it continue to grow. And yeah, if you're someone who wants to go through and bash on people, it's one of the quickest ways to get exited from that group, because it just isn't tolerated in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of you will find, in my personal opinion and the opinion of many other people as well, there's not a better outdoor group that you can be a part of, especially if you're starting your journey in the outdoors. Say this is the year that you want to go elk hunting. This is the year that you want to, again, whatever it may be in the outdoors, you want to better your legacy by getting in shape. This is the community that you're going to want to be a part of, because we all definitely understand. And Jake and I have those genes where we just put on muscle and fat really easily, and if we don't watch it, we get big. We're big boys. And it's not big bone. No matter, I don't care what the frick people want to call it or say, it's fat. I get fat.
Bro, this last week, like we ended the challenge out, and I went and upped my carbs, and I was like, oh man, feels good. Like, but I also was like, holy shit. All right, we went up really quick again. So it's like, it's amazing. It's like water buffalo status. Like, it's just like right back in. It's like, well, it took me 8 weeks. All right, just keep plugging, I guess. Yeah. Wow.
Exactly. So with that, I just want people to know, that's a great resource for you. If you don't have Facebook, it might even be worth getting a Facebook. But we definitely want to make sure you're getting the information as well. So you can definitely let us know. If you don't have a Facebook, we'll talk to you about it. Reach out to either Jake or me, and we'll make sure that you get taken care of and get the information on the group.
Can I say something on that? So here, this is the piece where it comes into the Facebook side of things. Like, yeah, you can we can help give information across the board, but it's like, I have to ask people, is like, what are you afraid of? Like, everyone's like, oh, I don't want to get on Facebook because it's a negative place, or different things of this nature. It's like, you can make a Facebook group that's literally a private Facebook and be able to get into the group, because I don't want you to miss on the stuff. And I'll tell you, like, wholeheartedly straight up, like, you're not going to get the same experience or have the same points of contact if you don't have a Facebook and get into the actual group, right? So, and I don't want to set people, set the expectations here, is like, there's different things. Like, we want to be able to help and support everyone within it, but it's like, if you want to be a part of the group and get everything that ultimately is going to come, not just is there, but will come as time goes on, you have to be present within the Facebook group. And my piece with that is, like, everyone says, oh, and this goes to social media of Instagram or Facebook and all this stuff, is like, if you look at it in a negative light, all you are going to see is negative, right? Like, you have to look at, like, what is the good things that are out there? And, like, psychologically, as humans, we're wired to look for the things that ultimately we're afraid of, or, it's like this fear mechanism, like safety mechanism. It's like, what's going to injure us? What's going to hurt us, right? So we're wired to look at all this negative scenarios, to where I would encourage all you guys, like, go out and, like, look at the positive and the good and everything that ultimately is out there. And then also for you, like, whatever you do put out, are you feeding into the negative, or are you putting good things out? Because when you put good stuff out, you will get that back. Start to see better things as time goes on. Don't let people keep you from being in social media. Like, it's going out. I mean, just making a post even here today, it's like, social media is like a hammer. It's like, you can build a beautiful home with it, or you can destroy that same home with a hammer. It's just, how are you choosing to use it, right? So don't stop yourself from being a part of something that's fucking phenomenal just because someone else is going through and telling you that, oh man, I can't believe you shoot that kind of a bow, or you're not a real hunter. Well, guess what? Unfollow, gone. Cool.
Exactly. No, I definitely agree with you there. It's there's two things that I saw, and it's funny how sometimes the algorithm, I feel like, hits it spot on, and then other times I'm like, what are you sending me? But
I'm like, what did I click on? Like, I don't know, where did this come from? I swear to God, that was not me.
Exactly. Yeah. Seriously. Yesterday I had two things come across. One of them was, there's this comedian guy, I don't remember his name, but he's starting to kind of blow up, and he's a comedian. He looks younger. Anyway, he's a pretty funny dude. But he was talking about how, and this was more on a podcast rather than comedy, so he was being a little bit more serious. And he just said, how can we prioritize so poorly our time when we have this thing in our hand, our cell phone, our smartphone, which I think is dumbing down a lot of people, but the smartphone that's in your hand has the access to everything good that you could ever want and all the potential that you ever could have right here in your hands. All that information is right there. You know, you can throw out the middle finger to all those teachers that said you'll never have a calculator in your pocket your life.
Yeah, exactly. That's me to a T. I was like, I don't even have that. I have my note taker. I have my calculator. I have everything. Like, it's all there.
Camera,
yeah,
exactly.
But
he's like, you have all this potential in your hand. And he's like, I'll never understand why people take that and they turn around and put so much negativity out there. All that time that is wasted, that their priority is to put other people down when all they would have to do is just flip that to positive and build themselves up. And it's just like what you're talking about with social media. Like you and I would have never met if it hadn't been for that.
100%.
I would have never even known about First Phorm at all if it hadn't been for that. You know, I might have seen that helicopter flying over from, you know, next door when Andy was here. But outside of that, like, I would have never known about First Phorm because my story was I met with a group of people. We had a workout right before TAC. I ran into someone wearing the First Phorm shirt, asked a couple questions, and now here I am, and you're stuck with me. So
imagine if I still had a man bun.
Yeah.
Another conversation. I won't go off track. Keep going.
Coach. No. Or you would have got a razor in the mail, something like that. But anyway,
scissors.
So that, and then the other thing was, and I don't know what it is with these comedians going serious, but they actually have some cool stuff to say when they're being serious too. Eddie Murphy was talking about, he said, if you're lucky, you have 75 years. If you're lucky. If you're really lucky, you got more time than that. But if you're lucky, you have 75 years. That means 75 winters, 75 summers, 75 springs. That's it. What are you doing with that time? And so just going back into feeding in the positivity and the social media aspect and having that Facebook group, using it as a tool to build your social network. It's something that's really important because you could be saying, I want to go skiing this year. Well, what's keeping you from that? If it's finances, then you can figure that out. You can always make more money. There's always ways to make more money. If it's time, well, then make the time for it because the time's going to pass anyway. If it's your social network, you don't know what to do. Well, we're providing a resource for you. So like all of these things can be fixed if you genuinely want to change them, you know, this coming year here in 2024. But it's just that the algorithm had it right yesterday. It sent me those two little clips and I was like, that's spot on. I love it.
You know, it's funny. You talk about that and just good. And this is, my mind goes like a squirrel brain, right? Like going in a lot of different areas here.
Size or how it functions. Okay.
Yeah. Ooh, easy. Well, just looking at because this is something that I really want to be able to like try and help more and more people do, right? Like everyone says, oh, an elk hunting trip, that's my dream hunt, right? My dream hunt is to go on this elk hunting trip.
All right, brief interruption, guys. I want to remind you as well about the First Phorm app. This app, I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons why you want to join the First Phorm app. You're going to get a one-on-one advisor. Not some cookie cutter program, nothing like that. A one-on-one advisor that will walk you through your nutrition, ask you about your goals, is genuinely interested in your goals, and will help you achieve those goals. One-on-one advisor, guys. 2, you're going to get workouts galore, everything from beginner and no equipment to decades of working out and all the gym equipment and everything in between, guys. Go check it out. All those workouts are available for you. And then 3, your nutrition tracking. Guys, it's hard to know why you're not hitting your goals if you're not tracking your stuff. That's as simple as it can be. You need to track so that you can know why you are or are not achieving your goals. And that's where, tying it back into the advisor, the one-on-one advisor is going to help teach you how to track your nutrition so that you can give your body the fuel it needs to accomplish the health and fitness goals that you want to achieve lasting results. And just a bonus, it's less than $15 a month. For a one-on-one advisor, tons and tons of workouts that are adjustable for whatever you need, tracking your nutrition, and more. There's way more benefits. Those are just my top 3. Go check it out, guys. Now let's get back to the conversation with Jake.
Well, if you think about that, it's like, well, if you've been saying that over the last 3 years, I would ask for the people who are like, oh, an elk hunt is my dream hunt. How many years have passed that you have been saying an elk hunt is my dream hunt? And how many of you actually have stopped and been like, okay, well, if I know it's my dream hunt, if it's your true dream, right, you will see what that dream is ultimately going to cost you, what it is going to take to achieve that, and then reverse engineer that back, right? So, and this is just to look for anyone who's maybe on this page, right? And we'll say, because there's multiple options that you can do when it comes to even elk hunting, right? It's like, because it's not cheap any way, shape, or form. It's about $800 for a tag alone. And then wherever you're at, like trip, travel, all that kind of stuff, you could do the cheapest route overall, go through and like do an over the counter or, you know, a draw put in for that. Like there's all sorts of options when it comes into just public land hunting and going out and doing it. It's probably going to be one of the cheapest ones to do right off the gate, right off the bat, outside of maybe depending on how much gear and different stuff you want to buy with it. Like entry to that's pretty minimal. And you think about it, it's like in a year's time, if you just went through and let's say the tag's $800 and it's going to cost you $1,000 to go out there and stay for a few days to go out and do this elk hunt, once you be scouted and all that stuff. Well, that's about $1,800, right? Now, $1,800, you get a tag, you just got to go through and have some effort and work into it. Well, if you put away $5 a day for 365 days, you're at $1,825, just quick math, because guess what? I have a calculator in my hand, right? $1,800 is 1 year's time. You could put $5 away every single day. And those same individuals, if you're smoking cigarettes out there, you're probably spending $6 a day on a pack of cigarettes. If you're going out, you're drinking, you're probably spending God knows how much. How much do you spend at the gas station when you stop to get gas, right? On an energy drink or a bar or whatever it is, right? Like we all spend so much money mindlessly on a day-to-day basis to where it's like, we have these dreams, but we're just not taking action on those dreams. And I think a lot of that stems from not surrounding yourself by individuals who encourage you to go out and achieve those things. And within that group, tie it back into that piece, is like, I want to be able to surround individuals to where it's like, your dream is just like, it's a tangible thing. Like you just have to take action and reverse engineer, like, okay, if that's it, this is what it's going to take, right? To move forward on that piece. So, and the whole negative side of things of social media and like poking them, oh man, we could go down a freaking rabbit hole on that side of things, but we're going to keep it positive.
And it gets to people, you know, the negativity can get to people. You can if you get to the right person, you really can ruin their day.
100%.
Ruin whatever they're doing. And it really, you know,
just takes 3 phone calls.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside joke, guys. If you call someone 3 times, you break through the barrier of do not disturb.
Oh no, you just told everyone now.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone called Jonathan.
It's gonna be airplane mode now. Screw that do not disturb. It's just airplane at this point.
All right, go ahead. You were on a good track there.
No, but the idea of, you know, negativity, it can go a long ways, but so can positivity, you know.
100%.
And doing it for the right reasons is another big one as well. You want to make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. And so what you'll notice going back to, you know, with First Phorm and First Phorm Outdoors, one, I'm just going to say there's hardly ever, if ever, discounts on anything.
Mm-mm.
And there's a reason for that. I do hear that a lot as a feedback. And the big reason for that is that we know the quality of the products that we produce. Period. That's just what it is. We know the quality and we don't want to cheapen that at all. And so if anything, like for example, this Black Friday that passed, mm-hmm. and anything that, you know, I guess Cyber Monday are the 2 most recent ones since,
mm-hmm.
you know, any
mm-hmm.
kind of giveaways that we do, it is more of you get free gear. You don't necessarily get a discount on a product. You get extra gear based on the purchases that you're pretty much already going to be making
mm-hmm.
anyway.
Yep.
And along with not discounting things, you may not get a discount when you buy up front, but I also don't know of any other companies out there that provide a 110% money back guarantee on the product. And that's something that I've been trying to talk about more here on the podcast, but I feel like people are still shocked when I bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that we know that you won't drink it or use it, whatever the product is, if you don't like the flavor. And if you're not using it and it's just gathering dust in your pantry, then what good have we done for you?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't.
It goes right back to what I had said earlier. Our entire goal and mission is to help real people get real long-term lasting results, right? Like when we say 110% money back guarantee, like that's not a bait switch kind of thing. It is, if you don't absolutely love it, if you are not using it to help you on your journey, we will go through and fully refund it and put 10% right back on top of it. Like that's like all those products, they're made, manufactured in an FDA SQF level 3 facility. Like we have the FDA go in, poke, prod, like make sure everything is in there. And even more so now that we've gone NSF certified to where all of the foundational products are now for major league sports and all these things going in, like we're doing even bigger things to make sure that people are poking and prodding and everything that we do, because it's what you're using for your body. It's a tool for the ultimate machine that you have, right? It's like people pay hundreds and thousands of dollars to go through and do upgrades and all this stuff on their cars and trucks and bows and all this stuff. It's like you got one piece of equipment that you get only one of for the rest of your life. How are we going through and investing in on that to where we're going to do it to the best of our ability to a T across the board? Like the products aren't made just so we can sell them. They're made, like Sal made the prenate like Joy Bundle, which I use for Tina and my new little one, right? Like the Joy Bundle was made when Raquel was pregnant with Enzo, and Sal's over here looking at these products like, okay, how to make sure Enzo's coming out a super baby, right? And he's looking at this stuff like, okay, I can make this better. And we'll go out and make it better to make sure it's for our families and taking care of everyone. And that 110% money back guarantee, because I was asked just the other day, it's like, hey, do you do sample packets? No, we don't do sample packets, because at the end, like with that piece is like, we're not worried about the quality of the product or the flavor of the product. We want to make sure people aren't going out there and getting these things and just trying to like throw them out and kind of give them out and hand them out and all this different stuff. Is like, we know when you get the product that you're using, and we want to keep it at like a fair price. Because if we do the sample packets, like now it's costing more for these the sample packets and putting them together, and just kind of like, you're not going to get as many servings and maybe a connection to where, okay, let's go through and give them the best we can. And if they don't absolutely love it, if it's not there, okay, we'll make it right. Like we're not here to go through and try and like pull the wool over someone's eyes, because I get that a lot. Like people think that's what it is. It's too good to be true. It's like, if you don't absolutely love it, you guys can call me, send me a message. I'll swap it out. Like, yep.
The hook is, and I tell people this, the only catch is that you, more than like, I have found very few, probably I could count on one hand or less, how many people have actually returned stuff after they didn't like it. And there've been plenty of skeptics. And so, it's definitely, it's something that there is no bait and switch. The only hook is that you're just going to fall in love with the product, and then you're stuck.
Yeah, dude. It is, and this is where it's like, I think people are afraid to go through and do that, because I've had to help some people go through and maybe return something that they didn't enjoy, right? So it's like, did you go to customer service and ask them? It's like, no, I just don't want to be that person. It's like, okay, well, let's get this taken care of, because at the end of the day, I understand that's where you're at, but this isn't doing you any good if you're not utilizing it and you're not going to use it consistently, right? Like we're here to help. We're not here to cast judgment or anything of that nature. Where it is like, we'll get it switched out. Everyone's flavor profiles are completely different. And the one thing I would say is, here's the deal, because this is one of the ones that I've had, is don't buy something that sounds like you think you might like it, because the flavors are to a T on point. Like I have a gal that had gone through and ordered the German chocolate cake level 1 back in the day, right? Well, she hates coconut, but she's like, oh, it sounds really good. And she goes through and gets it, and like, but then it has like that coconut hint from the German chocolate cake, because that's a big part of it. It's like, well, all right, guess what? We're going to take care of you. Like, want to make sure you're good. So They're just wild.
Yeah. And I do recommend that people reach out to customer support as well. They are, I don't know the exact promise, to be honest with you. I can just tell you from my own experience and from others' experiences, you will have a resolution unless it's a Sunday and even sometimes on the weekend, which is blows my mind. But you will have a response, and not just a response, but normally a resolution, as long as you're responding back to them, right? They can't fix it without you communicating. But if you're communicating back to them, generally within 24 to 48 hours, and I found it leans more towards 24 hours of a solution that you will receive from someone in the United States that is taking care of your product and yourself as well.
Yeah.
And so that's something that is super impressive. It's not like a send an email or a phone call or a chat and wait for days. It's right quick turnaround, and they make sure you get everything that you need, all the information, and they'll make sure that you're taken care of. So I challenge people to reach out to customer support if you need something, or if you have a question. They'll make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah, dude. We had one day back in the day where it was like literally someone messaged in or called in, and this is the old story. Like, I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube, because someone was like challenging us on just like our customer service and everything back in the day. They called up and they asked, "Hey, so I got a 94 Dodge. What are the best spark plugs for me to go through and put in here?" Went through, figured out what spark plugs would be the best spark plugs for them. Hey, you can actually go down to one of these two shops, right, to go through and pick them up and find them here. Went through, we've had people call in and ask, what's the best pizza in St. Louis? Well, here's your options, right? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, we joke and have fun with that kind of piece to it, but at the same time, like, we want to help, right? Like, and it makes, honestly, like, when you can look at a job, because when you say about people at headquarters, right, like, or having that customer service, like, they're right literally 20 feet away from me here in this Zoom room, right? Like, they're all home based, everyone's here. Headquarters, like, we want to make sure it's taken care of in-house and getting people the answers that they need, to where it's, I mean, that's a huge thing that Andy and Sal put on too, is like, we're not here to go through and automate and AI and all this other stuff that's ultimately out there. Is like real people connecting with real people. So, and only a St. Louisan will know like what is the best pizza in St. Louis. So got to give them credit there. I don't know it because I'm from Wisconsin. So I would have been asking questions like, help me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They can ask you what the best squeaky cheese is. But
100% Katie's cheese.
Right there. Just throw it out there.
Ellsworth, Wisconsin. Here we go.
Oh, man. Well, that's awesome. And it's definitely, it's something I've been trying to share with people, because, it's normally, you'll send out a sample pack or something like that from another company, because someone is maybe a little gun shy of pulling the trigger on something. And also, again, I get a lot, your product costs a little bit more than the competitor. I'm like, that's yes, but you also won't get the gut issues. You won't have a list of other problems that you could with these other companies that I've dealt with, and people throughout this week that we've done the Why First Phorm Outdoors week. You guys will have heard everyone else's experiences as well with different brands, and then moving to First Phorm and why we've all latched on to why we enjoy First Phorm. It's something that, I mean, it's just unmatched. It blows people's minds when we're at events and we'll take 10 ounces of water and mix 2 scoops of protein and a scoop of ignition into 10 ounces of water. And people look at you, and I've had people say, they're like, it's going to be like pudding. And you just mix it all together and you hand it to them and they drink it. They're like, oh my goodness, that is amazing. And so that, and I mean, it's just, there's so many different reasons why, but I challenge you guys to, out there listening, to reach out to, again, Jake, me, or anyone that's been on the podcast this week and ask these questions that you have. We're all going to respond to you. We're not just going to shove you off and pretend like you did or leave you on red. We want you to get a genuine answer. And if we don't know the answer, we'll find the answer for you or point you in the right direction. And so, I mean, again, just unmatched quality, unmatched community, and then the education piece behind it. Let's talk about that a little bit. Why is education such an important piece of First Phorm?
Man, well, I mean, this is for you. It's like, you can't give someone something you don't have, right? It's also a big reason, like, anyone who's in the First Form app or any of the customer service guys and gals here, you know, NASM certified personal trainers and nutrition specialists, you can't give people something you don't have. And it's not just in the diet, nutrition, supplementation side of things. One of the unspoken kind of rules internally here at headquarters, we got an internal library here that, you know, it's housed with a handful of different books across the board, and not a single one of those books are supplement, diet, nutrition, or exercise related. They're all personal development, self-help books, everything from finance, leadership, execution, as far as like your day-to-day productivity, all of those things, right? You look at the books that are in there, they're there to help people become someone of value to others. They're helping people become leaders. And internally here, like that's a big thing with just First Form and even myself, like as a dyslexic homeschooler from central Wisconsin growing up, like until I moved to St. Louis, right? Like, dude, I could tell you, and from, go in to when I was 28 years old, I could tell you how many books I had read cover to cover on one hand, cover to cover. I've now been here 5 years and I couldn't tell you how many books that I've ultimately gone through and read. I read more books in the first year of being involved at First Form headquarters in 1 year than I had my entire friggin' life up to that point. And they've all been personal development, self-help. And I equate that to individuals I surround myself with. And to this point in this day, like I've seen such a trajectory change of just my overall life, like the value I can bring to my family, my wife, my new little one, like my brothers, my dad, like I have my dad asking me questions, right? Like I have my brothers asking me questions and looking at all this stuff. And it's like, it's such a fun, powerful piece to be able to give back to others who have ultimately poured into you. And that's where I look at the obligation of that. And internally here, it's if you want to move up in this ecosystem, it's really an untold thing. You need to be reading 10 pages a day of a personal development self-help book. And that's one of the things, like if I walked into Sal's office and just went and said, hey, you know, I want to raise, or I want to do this. If there's ever that conversation, their ultimate question is going to be, it's like, what book you read? Well, I should probably know what book I'm reading. And ultimately it's like, what page you on? What are you doing? What'd you just read? Like figuring out, like, they want to know, are you constantly learning? Are you able to provide value to other individuals? Because that's, it falls into all across the board, everything we do, right? And if I can help someone on the financial side of things, and I can help them, you know, maybe diet, nutrition, like, because diet and nutrition is no different than financial. Like either you're spending or you're earning, right? Or you're like investing. It's like, what are you doing back and forth? And it's kind of crazy how it all works in conjunction. And usually if someone's really out of shape and their life's a clusterfuck overall, like their finances is probably a cluster, right? So is their diet and nutrition. It's just interesting how some of those things work back and forth. But it all goes back to where you can't give someone something that you don't have. And you can learn that from the books and the information and everything that you've invested in yourself with. But you also, one of the best like teachers you can have is life and personal experience, right? So a lot of the individuals inside these walls, and myself included, is like, we've all gone through our own personal journeys. We still all have our own personal struggles. Like I'm still a fat farm kid at heart. Like I am. I look at a donut and I gain 20, 30 pounds. Like it's wild. But I also know how to not just physically combat against that, right? Like mentally, emotionally, I know how to go through and understand how to make it through these different times. And I've had a lot of great conversations. I've built some great relationships thanks to social media from people all across the country, not just friends and family to my left and right. And that's why we built the app, right? Like, again, we can have all the products out there, but that's why Kaylee on the First Form Outdoors side of things, right? Like she wants to be able to provide value, and she sees the impact we can have in the outdoor space, to where having her as the lead advisor within the First Form Outdoors side of the app, right? Because if we can get people in there and help get them results and give them the education they need, the tools they need to be successful, Well, it creates a ripple effect out to the friends, the family, everyone in their ecosystem, right? So think about it's not just one value add of, hey, we're going to take what we know to give it to someone else, but it's like, we want to teach you so well that you can now take what you've learned and give it to someone else as well, right? And that's all facets across the board.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing too with the educational piece of First Phorm is that blew me away how, and still does, the education that is taught, that is provided as a Legionnaire, but also, you know, I had someone ask me the other day where he said, well, you know, how do you, I guess, what was his question? It was, do you like the way that you have to order through a link or online or a Legionnaire? And I just explained there's some places like Shields, for example, provides a storefront to, you know, for some things as far as First Phorm is concerned. If you're more local to St. Louis, there's places you can get it as well. Is it Vitamin Shop? There's some other ones that provide First Phorm supplements, but there's not a ton of just like well-known. It's not in like GNC and all these other places. And my explanation for that of not having to, but for the most part, having to order through a link or somebody was so that we could ask you those questions rather than you just going and buying it like it's another protein powder. The reason it's set up the way that it is so that you reach out to me or someone else, and that's a Legionnaire and has that education or is expected to have that education. And based on that education, you're going to get the answers you need onto, you know, do you need a micronutrient? Do you need a protein? Do you need a greens? Do you need all of the above? What's your day-to-day life like? Do you need the protein sticks? Do you need a protein bar? Are you vegan? Do you react bad to whey?
Right.
Like there's so many different things that you can go through and ask to help. And that's why it's such a good way of handling it, because it's a little bit more controlled. And obviously no one's perfect. I don't have all the knowledge. I'm not a nutritionist, but I know enough to be able to help you out in what you need, so that if you do have questions, which generally they are pretty basic, you know, hey, I'm having this or this or this, and how can this help?
100%. I want it to be, and this is a great point. I'm glad you bring it up, even on the Legionnaire side of things, right? Because as people come more and more into our ecosystem, they learn about, you know, what the Legionnaire program is. Like I was a Legionnaire from 2015 to 2018, right? And, you know, it's like, I'll see it where it's like, oh, is it worth it? Is it this? Like the basis of being a Legionnaire is being an individual of value to others, right? Like you have to be able to go through and do the work. Being a Legionnaire is not easy in any way, shape, or form. It is not an easy task to go through and do, because you are a cornerstone individual within our organization who we are going through and teaching and educating on not just like how to sell a supplement. We are teaching on how to help people with their diet, their nutrition, their exercise. We're helping you build your personal brand and how to create value in people's lives. And if, and only if, you go through and provide that value to people and you help them on their journey, you get them results and you give them the tools that are needed. Okay, well, you're now providing value to other individuals to where if they are purchasing from you, like anyone who goes through, and it's just, you know, shameless subtle plug is like, if anyone's going through and has supported Jonathan within his podcast, the RedBeard Outdoor podcast, or the Day One Crew, or any of those things, like if he has done any point of value, not just in the supplement side or the diet nutrition, but like Jonathan puts tons of value out there when it comes into his understanding the hunting side of things, different gear reviews, providing value and tools. And like, I think about it, it's like when I think of the outdoors, family, faith, and like just living your life and loving it, like that, the original aspect of where everything really started, like he's wanting to help people be better versions of themselves. And a big reason why I fully support him in being a Legionnaire and a cornerstone individual within our organization, to where if he's doing that and you guys are purchasing through that direct link, like that is helping support Jonathan and building out his entire ecosystem within RedBeard Outdoors. A lot of people probably look at him and think, oh man, he's sponsored by him. Jonathan's not sponsored by First Phorm. Like he's been a brother and a supporter within it. He is his own advocate.
I support
in
my
that
own
way.
caffeine addiction.
Yeah, exactly. You and me both, right? But it's like with that though, because he's not here to go through and shove shit down people's throats like a lot of other brands and companies that are, and they're just getting paid to go out and post. Like he doesn't do that to go out and post. Like, and this is the thing that gets me so frustrated when people think, oh, it's just another influencer thing. It's like, no, it's actually someone who gives a fuck. Like, and I'm sorry to anyone out there who doesn't like the words, but it's like, it's the truth. And I get so like bent out of shape when I see other people putting people down who are trying to do good by people and treating them with respect and helping them through the journey. And they down them just because they're not where they're at. And it's a funny thing. Like it's that whole saying, like, you will never find someone who is doing better than you, who is going to come down and bash you as you are on your way up. The individuals who are always going to try and beat you down or talk shit or any of this stuff are the people on the bottom who see you moving towards bigger and better things and ultimately maybe surpassing them. Well, those are the ones who are going to start trying to talk shit and do all this stuff. It's like, how little of an individual are you if that's how you have to get yourself to the top, or you're trying to get yourself to the top? I'll just be honest. Social media and all this stuff that's out there today and everything, like people aren't stupid. They see right through it. They see you going out there and being essentially a douche and treating people in that way. Like that'll never get you anywhere. I'll tell you as a individual and a very big part within this organization, if I ever see that kind of stuff, like those people will never work with us ever. I'll never see someone. It's not a tits and ass game. It's not someone who's going out there and trying to bash others. Like they will never, I will never, you might sneak through, but you will never go anywhere within it. Right. Because I don't respect it. And I know other people won't respect it. It's a big reason why, like there's a reason Jonathan went on the elk hunting trip with us last year or this year. Right. That was a trip for my dad and my brothers. And I knew at the end of the day, it's like, I take people and just even bringing that up to where it's like that entire trip was about people who are not sponsored. They're brothers. They're a part of something bigger and they believe in something bigger. So for any of you guys out there who are listening to this, just remember, and whether you like Jonathan or not like Jonathan, like I understand he's a ginger and all that stuff, but you're still listening to his shit. So you're still a supporter.
Exactly. No, I appreciate that. And it's definitely something that, First Phorm, there are very few First Phorm athletes, sponsored trainers. Even those positions have to be earned. But there's definitely, with First Phorm, it all comes down to the education, how you're building the community and how you're helping other people out. And then, of course, the quality. And there's quality in the supplements, quality in everything you do at headquarters. And the same thing is expected for anyone that's part of the community outside of the community or outside of headquarters is the quality. And what's really interesting is just about everyone has said those three words in this week's previous podcast up to this point. Now, I've got a couple more that I'm still going to be recording until this comes out. And so that might change, but I want to say every single person that I've recorded to up to this point has said those three things when I ask them their top three things about First Phorm Outdoors and First Phorm. It's community, quality, and education. And that's something that I can't say about any of the companies that either I've worked with before or that I know of, that the education is just huge. We want people to know what they're doing and not just buying caffeine because they think they need to stay awake or throw a Band-Aid on something of lack of sleep. They need to buy protein because they want bigger muscles. Like all of this stuff, we want to dive into it a little bit more and help people more than just one size fits all. And so, I mean, obviously we've got root beer float protein. I haven't heard of that anywhere else. So like that's something that
I'm going to say, if you guys want to see root beer float stay around for a very long time, you should go get one right now. If you're doubting it, because I know we've had this conversation. This is a subtle thing. Root beer float, against all odds, might be going to a seasonal flavor. So I'm calling all my root beer float lovers out there. Let's prove them wrong. That's pretty much it. I already went through. I bought 4 jugs just in case like we end up going seasonal, which I think could be more of a summer seasonal thing. But I don't know why.
Stocking up on root beer float protein.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to shove the numbers a little bit on the backside. It's like, oh man, you say it doesn't sell? No, it does. Like it'd help if it was in stock more.
They all ship to headquarters. What the?
Yeah, what the heck? What's going on? Yeah, exactly. That's funny how that worked. 10,000 units were just purchased. I don't know. I'm starting a GoFundMe just to go through and get the root beer float train back on point. Oh man.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
So with I mean, we've hit on some of the major reasons why people should go with First Phorm and First Phorm Outdoors. And again, I'm bringing this up because guys, like Jake said, you know, this is something that for me, it's funny because I'm a salesman by trade, I guess, by career at this point. But I don't like being salesy. I don't like the scummy, like you were saying, trying to shove stuff down people's throats. The used car salesman idea. I naturally sell things that I enjoy, and it's because I get excited about them. I don't like necessarily putting it out there, but I'm learning to get better at that because you guys out there listening are already buying stuff. So I need to be better at telling you what I like so that you know where you're already spending that money. You've allocated that money for spending, where to go spend your money. So with that being said, why First Phorm over any other options out there as people are going into the new year right now? They're heading into their fitness journeys, which is the biggest New Year's resolution out there. We want people to succeed more than just the first 3 months of the year, more than just 2024. We want people to succeed well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, and share what they enjoy doing in the outdoors with others. I've harped on that, but why would you say, Jake, why First Phorm Outdoors over everything else out there available?
I'm going to ask everyone what their goal is, what they want to achieve. I can't make anyone go through and purchase a product. I don't want them to ultimately go through and necessarily, just go purchase a product. Trust needs to be earned, right? So that is the one place where it's like, okay, well, what can we do to help build that trust in the long run here? Mm-hmm. And I would ask you guys, whether it's like the elk hunt I brought up earlier, right? If you've gone through and wanted to achieve that elk hunt, well, and maybe that helps you. Hopefully, my only reason for bringing that up is like, yeah, I hope I can build a little bit of trust with someone else. I'm not here to go through and shove shit down people's throats, just like Jonathan's going through and saying, but it's like, give us the opportunity to go through and prove all the doubts that you might have wrong, right? And ultimately earn that trust, right? And I'm going to tell you straight up right off the bat going into the New Year's, right? If there's one product I would tell anyone to go through and purchase right off the bat, it would be the First Phorm app. And I would say, and the reason for this is as you go in to the new year, now, okay, all the other products, yeah, great. We can go in and dive into that. But I want you to think about right now, because you're like, okay, going into the new year, new me, new all this shit. Like if you have an elk hunting trip and all this stuff, or you want to lose 10, 20 pounds, or I just heard a bunch of individuals, because I was asking other people I work with, individuals who are now, they were pre-diabetic, they're no longer diabetic, or they were type 2 and now they're not, right? And like you hear these people going through phenomenal journeys. I just heard of another one that went through, she lost 78 pounds, right? She was on different medication and all that stuff. She's off of all these pills. Like we're changing people's lives in that sense, giving them their lives back, right? Adding years to their lives, right? So that comes down to just having a goal and a plan that you want. We can't help you. Jonathan can't help you if we don't know what that plan or like the goal you have is. So step one for anyone going in the New Year's is what is your goal? What is the mission you have for 2024? My next piece to that is ask for help, right? Make it aware to either Jonathan or get into the First Phorm Outdoors group and go through, download the app and let Jonathan know in this capacity, like get in the day one crew, his Facebook group, dive into that piece, have an accountability group to where it's like, we're going to kick the shit out of 2024, right? And just be some of the best community overall moving into the new year of outdoors men and women alike, right? Download the First Phorm app, get involved, tell Kaylee exactly what it is you want to go through and achieve when it comes into lose 10, 20 pounds, all that. She's going to give you literally a real human, someone here is going to walk you through. And I think of the lowest barrier to entry, like the app itself is going to be the lowest barrier to entry for anyone out there. Most people don't want to go through and do it though, because you're looking for a cheap, easy, quick fix. I promise you, I'm going to tell you right now, your goals are not going to be easy if you really want them. right? Like, I can't do the work for you, but if you meet us halfway, we'll meet you there. Meet at 50-50 meet. I can't help you, like, if you don't do the work, right? We can't do the work for you. Jonathan can't do the work for you. I can't make you track your food. I can't make you go to the gym and work out or do the walk. You have to do those things. But I promise each and every one of you guys, if you're still here listening on, if you show up and you do the work and you're honest with yourself, you're honest with Jonathan, us here, I promise you, if you meet us halfway, we will get you the results you are wanting to get. And that is, I will put everything I have right on that piece. That's it.
I definitely agree with that. 100%. Guys, you will not find a tool that has more options, more tools, I guess, inside of this one tool out there, where you get an actual one-on-one advisor. You get the tools of workouts galore. There's everything from no equipment to all the gym equipment, everything from drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid to doing traditional weightlifting, and everything in between. You can do sandbags. There's outdoor specific workouts as well that are programmed in there. And like I said, you get the one-on-one advisor. Again, it's not a cookie cutter. Here's your macros. Have fun. It's checking in, weekly check-ins, bi-weekly check-ins, whatever you end up scheduling, whatever you need, you will be taken care of by a real person. And on top of that, there are classes that you can go in, whether recordings or live classes that you can go in and check out. If you don't understand things with a workout, you're able to click on a little button that goes through either a video or an explanation of either alternates or what you need to do for that specific movement in the workout. So it explains it for you instead of just throwing you for a loop. There's so many more things in there as well. I honestly can't list them all, but that app is amazing. And it's not expensive compared to what you would spend on a personal trainer or something like that when you go into a big box gym that's going to give you a cookie cutter program that may alternate one or two little things here and there. But it's not going to be
we're going to be doing a big thing here. My goal within 2024 is to be able to do like different different meetups and, you know, different things of that nature, to where like the community can get together and do different hikes. And I mean, multitude of different ideas and thoughts we have. I have a goal to be able to go through and essentially do like potentially transformation challenge with exclusive just to the outdoor portion of it. Whether that is a different exclusive, fully expense paid trip, things out to here, or, you know, different things that can fly into that part. But I do as a give back to everyone in the outdoor space, of those who are actually showing up and doing the work. Because we have literally, I was looking through some of the results of people that have been getting on the outdoor side of it, has been freaking sick. So I'm excited to be able to go and showcase some of those as we move into the new year, and just how some of these individuals who literally were alcoholics, or they've now been on like a year plus sobriety, and they're going through and they're seeing changes with their family and their kids and all this stuff. Like, they're getting out there and doing more things never before getting, which is wild. Like, they never thought this would be something they'd be able to do. Right. And with that, for the guys and gals who are showing up and getting their friends and family and that stuff involved, like wanting to do different really incentives of just like giveaways and givebacks to people who are in the First Phorm Outdoors side of the app, who are in the First Phorm Outdoors side of the Facebook group. I guess we do different things, and we'll do stuff via social media, Instagram and all that stuff. But I really want to be able to hone it into the First Phorm Outdoors community, people who are in there getting involved, doing bigger and better things. And then really, you know, we're all across literally the entire country as a whole. I want to be able to meet more people, more of you guys who are ultimately in that community, some of you guys who are maybe in the day one crew community, and just be able to actually go hike a mountain with you, right? Go set something out there that might be a challenge for some people, and be like, hey, this date, we're going to go hike this mountain. Whoever wants to come, show on up, right? And do more of those cool, fun community pieces as time goes on. And it might be in conjunction with some of these other events that might be taking place out there as well. So looking forward to all of that.
I agree 100%. That
Yep.
is awesome. So guys, with that being said, there you go. You've got all your reasons why First Form Outdoors, why you should be a part of the community, why you should try the products, why you should reach out to us. And again, you've got a week's worth of people that you can reach out to that have everything from West Coast to East Coast and everything in between. And then on top of that, the First Form Outdoors community on Facebook. You just gained I don't know, more people than you could probably even reach out to or even would want to reach out to as resources. And they're all willing to talk to you. They all want to help you. They want to see you achieve your goals. And so with that being said, Jake, do you have anything else for the people?
You guys got literally the rest of your life ahead of you. You got all these goals and dreams. You got everything you want to be able to go through and achieve. Like, my ask is, how long are you going to wait to start taking action on the goals you have? Not just physically, but going back. I mean, I can't stress it enough. If you have this goal of something you want to achieve, right? Put it down on paper of what that is. And if you don't know how to go through and engineer that back to make that actually happen, reach out. I know Jonathan would love to help that. I know myself, I'd love to help on that. But when it comes into your diet, your nutrition, and just life in general, like, surround yourself by individuals who want to go out and see you win, right? Surround yourself by that. And to sum all of that up is, you guys are the sum, and this is to all men and women out there, and you can look at your life and a glimpse of where it is right now. You're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with the most and the 5 most recent books you have read. That is it. I would take a look at where you are at, who you are surrounding yourself with, what you are consuming, right? And ask yourself, is this where I want to be? And if it's not, have that idea of where you want to be, and then start looking at who you should be surrounding yourself with and what you should be consuming.
100%. Definitely agree with that. And, guys, you've heard it. You've been blasted by First Form all this week. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because I really want you to know, outside of me, why First Form Outdoors. It's more than just supplements. It's way more than that. The supplements are little tools and a portion of it to help you get to where you need and want to go. And we're here to help. So we're all resources for you. We want you in the community. Come join us. And before you get to that February, March, where the parking lot of the gym starts to empty out, before you get there, come join us. We want to help you out. So with that being said,
doesn't matter if it's in your living room or your gym. Send it.
Exactly. That's what we want for you guys. So with that being said, thanks, Jake, for your time. I appreciate it, especially with guys. Jake has a new baby girl, and he is taking time out of his day away from his baby girl to talk to you guys about it because he is that passionate about it. So, those dad naps hit hard. So
yeah, I black out about every 30 seconds, just like this is pretty much it.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm going to leave the links down below, guys, where you can find Jake. Jake has his own podcast as well, the Experience More podcast. I'll drop that down below. I'm going to drop the link for the app down below. And then, of course, all the other links down below, if you're interested in supplements, whatever it may be, is going to be down there as well. But we want you guys to get in the community. I can't harp that enough. But we want you to succeed. And that's what it boils down to. We want you to experience more of whatever it is that you're passionate about. We want you to be able to hand that down for generations to come. And that's what we're here for. So thanks again, Jake, for hopping on. And like I always say, guys, get out, live your life, and love it.
Appreciate it.